Welcome to this video on integer addition. We're going to take a look at integer addition, and actually what applies to integers also applies to any real numbers. And it says find the following sums, and a sum is just the answer to a addition problem. And you're looking at the first one, 7 plus 5. You think, boy, this is going to really be easy. You already probably know the answer to that. But we would like to use two methods to solve these problems because they're not always going to be just a couple of positive integers added together here. So I'm making a number line, and this is the number line method of doing this. We want to start at 0 and move to the right because 7 is a positive number, 7 units to the right. And then from where we left off, we want to move another 5 units to the right. And so we're moving 7 units and then 5 more units, and where do we end up? We end up at positive 12, as you probably had already figured out. But let's do this now with a couple of negative numbers. And so once again, we'll draw a number line. And when we see a negative number, we'll go to the left in the negative direction. So we'll start out at 0 again. Every time we'll start out at 0. And first we're going to move 4 units to the left because it says negative 4. And then to that we're to add negative 3. That just means move another 3 units to the left. And where do we end up? What is negative 4 plus negative 3? Well, there we are out at negative 7. And so our answer to this second problem is negative 7. Now that's one method, and we could call this the number line method, I guess, because we used a number line. But we could also use a rule. And so the second method to do the same problems, we'll call that the rule method. And notice in the problems that we've had here that we've had the same sign. In other words, in the first problem we had a positive 7 and a positive 5. They're both the same sign, both positive. And then a negative 4 and a negative 3, they're both the same sign, both negative. So what's the rule for adding these? The rule is just to go ahead and add the two numbers without any regard whatsoever for what signs they may have. So we're just going to add without regard to their signs. Just add the two numbers together. Okay, and so in the first problem we're just going to add 7 to 5. And so 7 plus 5 is 12. So our first steps are just add them, and we've done that. And on the second one, we're just going to disregard the signs again, and we're just going to do 4 plus 3, that's 7. But then the second part to the rule is that we want to now use or take the common sign. So our sum, our answer, will have the common sign. In 7 plus 5, they're both positive, so the sign is positive. So we get a positive 12. On the second problem, they were both negative, negative 4 and negative 3. So the common sign is negative, and so our answer then is negative 7. Okay, here's two different problems, and the first one is negative 5 plus 7. Let's first look at it with the number line method. And on the number line method, remember we start at 0, and it says negative 5 first, so let's go to the left 5 units, negative 5, and then it says plus 7, so plus 7 means go to the right. So from where we left off there we're actually at -5. We're going to move 7 units to the right, and where do we end up? We end up at +2. So -5 plus 7 is +2. Let's use the number line again for our second problem down here, where we have a +4. So +4 means start at 0, go to the right now for positive, to the right 4 units, and then it says add to that a -3. -3 means go to the left. So from where we left off there, we go 3 units to the left. And what is our final result? What's the sum? There we are at +1. So 4 plus -3 is +1. We need a new rule for this case, because in this case we have different signs. Before we had the same signs, now we have different signs. Notice that we have a negative and a positive, a -5, +7, and a +4, a -3. The signs are different, and so the rule is different. Our rule when we have different signs is to subtract. Subtract the smaller number from the larger number, and once again we want to just temporarily forget about what the signs are. We're just going to without regards to the signs, just take the smaller number and subtract it from the larger. So let's do that on the first problem. The larger number is 7. We're going to take 5 away from it, and we get 2 in this case. And on the second one, we do 4 subtract 3, smaller number from the larger number. And then the second part to this rule is that we want to take the sign of the larger number. Now we're going to go back and look at the signs again and take the sign of the larger number. Okay, so in the first case the larger number was 7. 7 is larger than 5, so we take its sign, that's positive. So we get a +2 for that one. And on the second problem, the 4 was larger than the -3, so in this case we also end up getting a positive. +1 is our answer to that one. Next, we like to look at a problem that has more than one integer, and we just take 2 numbers at a time. So let's take the first 2. The signs are the same, so we just add them. And we get 49. We take their common sign, which is negative. And to that, we just bring down the next number, +15. Now our signs are different, and so we're going to subtract the smaller number, the 15, from 49. And we get 34. And we want to take the sign of the larger of those two. So out of -49 and 15, -49 is larger. So we take its sign, and our answer is -34. I see I've run out of time. I won't have time to do the next one, which is vertical. But see ya.